I doing right now? Counting handles. Oh, what is that one? That's a critical spinner. Another critical spinner. Another critical spinner. Another critical spinner. Oh my goodness. Hope you guys are well. So much going on right here. Rushing. Desperation Pinocchio, how are you, brother? Good to see you, man. Thank you for stopping in to say good day. What's up, Blue? Devin Zablenkov, congrats, mate. Thank you so much, guys. Man, we had such a good time. It was so cool. It was so cool. There was a lot of arm wrestling. It was a good day. It was a good day. So yeah, got married. What? 2 days ago. Everything's been a blur since then. The arm wrestling opinion asked me, did Danny Tesh show up? No. Danny Tesh still remains elusively hidden. Danny never even responded to an invitation. So, yeah, I don't have no idea where Danny Tesh is. But we had a lot of arm wrestlers there. We had a table. We had the Aussie arm wrestler on the mic the whole night, and we had a prize for anyone. So we had the trophy for, it was said Ryan and Joanne's arm wrestling challenge, and anyone who could pin Lachlan Adair was going to get the trophy, and if Lachlan Adair didn't get pinned the whole night, he got the trophy. We got him down in the end. We got him down. I didn't help at all, because the first kind of arm wrestling thing we did was, so this is deep into the night, the reception's going on. It's a really cool cultural sort of contrast, because my wife, she's Lebanese, and her family from Lebanon have such rich culture in terms of the way the music and their dancing and everything like that. And so we had this, I think it's dubki, the dance that they do, this dubki going on, and all the Lebanese people are doing their thing, and we got us Aussies trying our best to do the moves, but at the same time we had the arm wrestling table going on, and all of Joanne's side of the family was so very intrigued by watching the arm wrestlers go at it. And so with the arm wrestling, what happened was we had Lachlan Adair. Also, first of all, I arm wrestled everyone. I didn't get through the whole lot. I said to Lachlan, no, you're not allowed to jump in the queue first. So I pulled all the guests from Joanne's side that were keen, the uncles, the cousins, all that sort of stuff. Had some fun with that. One of her uncles was really solid, legit. He was only a little dude, but he was going hard. She had another cousin that was a carpenter. He had a really strong hand, just didn't know how to use it. But then the arm wrestlers came up. I started with Jordan Davis, banged into it. We didn't have a strap at the time, so I'm like, Jordan, I'm not holding on to your top roll, and we're just going to keep slipping. So we'd have to hook. So Jordan and I went to the hook. But because hooking is my territory, I let my arm out to about there before I started. But then I pulled through him. Did it like 3 times. So that was nice. Went through Jordan, went through Torben, went through everyone until young Ethan. Young Ethan Tunstall, who knows me well, Richard 2.0. He cracked me. He was the first person. He was about the 11th or 12th arm wrestler in the lineup that I faced, and he was too good. Cracked me. And then my dad stepped up right after Ethan, and my dad cracked me. I dug in so deep trying to get back, but just couldn't. Dad was too strong with the level of fatigue and the balance. It was actually really cool to have a genuine match with my dad like that, because it's not something that happens when we're fresh. So let me just bring up your comments. It keeps disappearing. People, what do we got? Thanks for all the congratulations. Just catching up on your comments now. Yes, NZ is New Zealand. Magical Quasar. Mahinda Singh says congratulations. Thank you very much. Make sure to put a shrimp on that Barbie if you catch my drift. Says the G Brown 86. Yep, that's what we do down here. Congrats, Blue. Why you getting married, man? Single life is where it at, says Grandpa Dale, the Devon Larratt Grandpa Dale version. Man, I tell you, my wife is so ridiculously amazing in every way. Like, she's more of a blessing to me than I could have possibly dreamed up of as possible. She's legit the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. her. She's so kind, incredibly selfless. She's from Lebanon. She was actually born in Australia, but her family's all Lebanese. So she speaks Arabic and English, and my Arabic is like very limited. Anyway, but yeah, she's amazing. So I'm very happy, man. But what else we got going on? Let me go back to the comments. Are you gonna meet up with Matai Warangi Hetamoris? Okay, here's the story with Matai Warangi Hetamoris. So I'm going to New Zealand for 3 weeks, right? It's a honeymoon, so of course there's not going to be really anything other than honeymoon activities going on. We're going to see all of New Zealand and whatnot. And Matai Warangi, I was talking to him the other day, and I'm like, dude, I can't go to a training session, and I can't book it in. It's just not gonna fit it in. And then, but he's like, well, what if I like turn up in the car park of one of the touristy destinations you're going to? Can you spare me? And I bring a table. Can you spare me 15 minutes? And I said, look, if you turn up at a car park where we are with a table, I'll have a camera in my car and we can pull for 15 minutes. So I don't know. It's a low chance, but there is a chance that Matai Warangi and I grip up over the table somewhere in the next 3 weeks, which would be pretty cool. Yeah, so people are seeing handles at the moment. As you can see, guys, yeah, I am unpacking handles, goat spinners. Look at them. Goat spinners right now. I'm unpacking them. So this is my first wave of shipment. I'm expecting another wave. So if you were one of the people who were in the first wave of orders, I'm going to ship this tomorrow before I go to New Zealand. Everyone who has been in the second wave of orders will be shipped as soon as I get back. My second shipment from my manufacturer is on its way to Australia now, but it's not going to make it before I leave for New Zealand. So I get back from New Zealand on June 5. And so the remaining. But yeah, we got them all. They're here. It's nice to see them. I haven't actually unwrapped any yet. I want to actually see what they look like all branded. So do you guys want to see that? Let's have a look. Let's unwrap. Hang on. Right. I was going to do that with my teeth, but no, I'll use the scissors. Let's unwrap a goat spinner. A pound for pound goat spinner. And have a look at it. See what it actually looks like branded. I haven't seen this at all yet, so this is an unboxing moment. Official. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, I hate that YouTube keeps killing the chat. I have to touch the screen every damn 30 seconds to be able to see what you guys are saying. Alright, here we go. Oh yeah. Very nice. Pound for pound arm wrestling strapping used on the goat spinner. This is my favorite handle. I love this thing. I'm training so much with this. Now I'll finally try me the one with the branding on it as well. But anyway, there you have it, guys. That's what we're looking at. All the branding is on the straps, and it looks neat. I like it. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, where was I up to with the wedding story? I forget. Yeah, so Lachlan are there after I pulled everyone. The Aussie arm wrestler who was the MC for the night, he got on the mic, held up the trophy and said, all right, ladies and gents, here we have the challenge, because we had like half an hour left in the evening. And we saved it for the end of the night, and the challenge was put out there. If anyone could pin Lachlan Adair, they won the trophy. And if no one pinned him, Lachlan got the trophy. And it started off, and what my dad mentioned to me at the end of the night, he's like, I didn't think anyone was going to get that at all. Like, it started off, and it was just brutal. It was just crush, 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 crush. Didn't matter whether they were a top roller, a hooker, a presser, anything. Sorry, I just realized people can't see it. They were telling me the camera's blurry. There we go. I'll hold it still for a little longer. That's the goat spinner right there. Roll that sucker up. Make some gains. Roll it down. It says pound for pound arm wrestling on the straps. Anyway, so Lachlan's crushing everyone, and it's not looking at all good for all of us. I couldn't do anything. I was worn out from arm wrestling everyone. I had nothing left in my arm. And I was kind of counting on being the guy that was going to put some dents in him so did everyone else. But thankfully, I tell you who did step up and start putting dints, and it became kind of like left field, was Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis didn't realize it had started. Lachlan was about 10 pulls in, crushing everyone, myself included, multiple times. Jordan steps up, and next minute, Jordan's like, and you can see Lachlan's hand was going boom, 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 and it was like, oh, there's dints going in finally, and it was bang, bang, bang. He beat Jordan 3 or 4 times. They pulled out of straps, pulled in straps, and then I'm like, Ethan Tunstall, get up there and keep those dints going in the same spot, because Ethan and Jordan very similar shape pullers. And guys, Ethan's really leveling up. I know that Ethan's brand new. Ethan's only 18 months here, but he's really leveling up to the point of very quickly becoming one of the guys in the club. Um, so he got up there, put some dints on, and I I don't want to take away from the thunder of Torben, because Torben Pelikan actually wins the trophy in the end. But this was all happening, and I'm like, all right, let me back up there, and I get it, and I crack his wrist, and I got him. I got everything, and I'm like, oh, I got you, but I'm like, I can't win the damn trophy. I don't want to win the damn trophy. I want one of these guys to win the damn trophy. So I started letting him back into a hook, and I thought I'm gonna roll him again and just start to tease him. And I rolled too far in, and next minute he dropped. He went for the hook, and I stuck it like an inch above the pad, and my arm couldn't hold it out. I stayed there for about 10, 15 seconds, and then Lachlan overwhelmed me. And then it was just like a mad race to the table. Everyone was like, next dude on the table is gonna pin Lachlan. And that was Torben Pelikan. Torben Pelikan, if you guys don't know him, legit puller, really strong, huge endurance. Blaze Khan, no, there's no video of it, man. There's heaps of photos. We got bucket loads of photos, so there's gonna be some great action shots, but no video of it. Unless it randomly pops up from family members from Joanne or something like that who might have been videoing. But Torben gets up there, just boom, just like takes center off Lachlan, staring him down, like, what are you gonna do, Lachlan? What are you gonna do? And then just presses him to the pad. So uh, Lachlan gets done by Torben Pelikan, which was pretty neat. But it was genuinely a lot of fun. We said it was a real good collide of cultures with Joanne's family and the Lebanese culture, and my family and friends with the arm wrestling culture. It was actually way better than I thought it was going to be. Having arm wrestling at a wedding, and we had the vendors, the DJ, and the venue managers, and that came up to us at the end of it and said that was actually one of the coolest things we've ever seen at a wedding reception. Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry, I was just reading the comment. Mark J saying, "Hey, I'm Torben." I don't think so, Mark J. Torben's got a YouTube account. It's not that one. Anyway, yeah, the speeches were awesome. Oh, um, my now brother-in-law, Jacques, he opened the speeches, and he kind of playfully took a swipe at Lachlan, knowing that Lachlan's sitting next to me at the best man, and he described me as the number one arm wrestler, or as the strongest arm wrestler in the country. And knowing that Lachlan was sitting there, and I'm like giving Lachlan the old elbow as he's saying that, and then Lachlan's like, "Don't worry, I'll clear that up in my speech." And then so yeah, Lachlan got up and did his speech later on, and cleared it up. Told some good stories about travels to Zloty and all that sort of stuff, and all the shenanigans we got up to, and the craziness of layovers in Munich and meeting Lavan and all this sorts of stuff. But the speeches were really good. Lachlan said he had a good mixture of genuine sentimental stuff, which meant a lot, and taking a dig at me and telling people about the funny stuff that I do in the background. So it was a good mix, and I had a great time. Really thankful to everyone. It was actually I didn't one thing I didn't realize was going to happen at a wedding was just it made me realize how much I value all the people that turned up. My arm wrestling community and friends that were there. I had such a good time with them, and the depth of relationships that I have with those people, it's really awesome. And Lachlan described one complimentary thing about me that really just like it nailed me was he said that the superpower that I have is that I bring out the best in people, and that meant a lot to me. Really did. It's always been something. I know you guys know I have a lot of belief in myself, and I got no dramas with putting myself out there. But when I train with people like Lachlan and Jordan and Ethan and anyone that I've trained with in the past, I really project my same self confidence onto them and help them to really see and believe that they have the potential to just to go way further than they even think is really possible. I've never had anyone really say that back to me that, and I didn't know that was coming. And Lachlan mentioned that he said, and yeah, therein lies the superpower of Ryan that he brings out the best in people. So I really appreciated that, and it's funny because that same thing that Lachlan describes as a superpower is what gets me in trouble so much with the international fans of the sport when they think that I'm delusional in that. But it's interesting how from one perspective it comes across as delusion, and the other perspective it comes across as bringing out the best in people. So, but anyway, it was a great night. It really was a great night. Had a blast. It feels really good. There's the wedding ring. Wedding ring is on, looking good. It's on my left hand. I don't arm wrestle very often in this, so it's safe to leave on. The right arm, that one's still good to go. Interesting, the ring size comparison. If we have a look at this, guys, we want to talk about comparative rings. So this one goes on quite comfortably. You see, it's got enough room for my fingers to grow. Like there's no sticking point. It goes over the left finger pretty comfortably. It's not gonna fall off, but it's not tight. That's what I wanted because I know my hand's gonna grow in this sport because they constantly do. I go to my right hand and it's like, yeah, no, it's just not happening. No ways getting over that knuckle. So there's the difference between right and left finger on that ring. Left just straight on, no worries. Right, no, not gonna happen. So yeah. But yeah, so anyway, it's platinum. It can be resized, so it's all good. What else is going on? What have you guys been up to? I missed the fix. The fix was live with Neil and Paul and Ray and all that sort of stuff. I caught them right at the end as just I was waking up from the day after the wedding. I caught them. I was literally in the shower and I'm like, oh shit, look, Neil's live. So I said good day to those fellas. So hopefully you guys tune into them and what's up. What do we got? A question here from the G Brown 86. Laugh out loud, so good. I bet suits have to be custom too. Yeah, you should have seen that. The suits were funny. Um, all other arm wrestlers, funny seeing other arm wrestlers rock up because you guys would know. If you're an arm wrestler, you'd know. You can't just go to a standard store and buy a standard shirt. For me, the common look among arm wrestlers is exactly that. Really tight forearms and loose around their waist and in their chest and even in their biceps because the forearms are just such an issue. But Lachlan's shirt, my shirt had an inch and a half more in my forearm than it did on my left. My right forearm had an inch and a half more room. So it's pretty funny. Contramind asked, did RVJ get me a wedding gift? I'm still waiting for it in the mail. I'm expecting some donuts. I'm sure he's going to send me something lovely. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I got so many wonderful gifts. The amount of people, like I said, the amount of support from people, not only my local friends here and family here as well, but international. So many messages and that. And it's a pity that damn COVID was here because there would have been a few international guests. The Brazank family were coming, but they couldn't make it. So that would have been awesome to have John and Renee there. That just would have been amazing. Burgoyne's Beer Belly. $5, €5. We said €5. I think that's €5. Thank you, brother. Have a beer on me, bro. By the way, what's your favorite beer? Thank you, Evan Burgoyne's Beer Belly. I will definitely have a beer on you. My favorite beer. I'll tell a good story. I don't have I'm not like a Todd Hutchins where I have a beer, Miller High Life, and that's it, and you just don't drink anything but that beer. Variety is the spice of life for me when it comes to food and flavors and things like that. Now, and beers in Australia, there's a big culture, other than our stock standard beers that are just the mass-produced, manufactured ones, there's a big microbrewery sort of culture, right? And we have lots of different beers and small companies and pale ales and things like that. And This story relates to John Brzenk because when I first met John Brzenk, I remember I met Todd Hutchins prior and said, "Look, Todd, what's a good present for John Brzenk? He's letting me stay at his house for a week. What should I get him?" And he said, "Just beer. Get him beer. He just loves drinking beer. Bring some Australian beer." So I brought over my favorite beer at the time, which was just again a pale ale from one of the local microbreweries in my area, and just a that kind of wheaty kind of. It's not hugely strong, but it's not a light beer. Easy to drink, and he puts them in the fridge when I arrive there, and he's like smiles and says thank you and all that sort of stuff, and then he's like, "You want a real beer?" And I'm like, "What, a real beer? What's a real beer?" And John's like, "Here you go, have an IPA." I look at this. I've never drank an IPA before. I look at it, and its percentage alcohol was like 8.79%. And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, 8.79%." All right. Compare. And I look at mine, and mine was 3.75%. I'm like, "Hey, that's different." But anyway, the funny thing was that I'd never drank an IPA before. I drink it, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, this is strong, and it tastes really, really heavy in its flavor." We sat in the Arizona sun in John's pool for 6 hours straight, just talking arm wrestling and drinking beer and getting to know each other. And at the end of those 6 beers, he says to me, John says, "So do you want to have your beers now?" And he goes, "They're gonna taste like lolly water after this. It's gonna be terrible." And I'm like, "No, it's gonna be good. You watch. There are some beers." I go back, get my beers out of the fridge. We crack them open, take a mouthful, and oh my goodness, what was my favorite beer has been now transformed into pretty much exactly what John said. It tasted like lolly water. You could taste no flavor. You could barely feel any alcohol in it. You're like, what on earth? So I don't know. If I'm with John, I'm drinking IPAs. If I'm in Australia, I'm going a little softer. And yeah, so my favorite beer now, if I had to have a beer right now today, right now, and I could have any beer, I'd actually have an Asahi, Japanese beer. I had a case of them about a month ago, and they were on point. Loved them. Asahi. But yeah, if I'm in Arizona, it's IPA. All right, what else we got going on? Blazing Car says, I know, laugh out loud. Don't like the old Asahis. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so tomorrow I'm off to New Zealand. Yeah, I got to pack all these orders now. Let me show you guys the pile of handles I got here. Ready? 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 Look, handles. Lots of handles. I got to pack all them and ship them to the first wave of orders. And like I said, second wave's coming in. The on handles, just so you guys know, now that I've got these, okay, the pre-orders sales kind of done. Everything's going to go back to individual units. There's a couple of things that I like. This is my all-time favorite handle so far. But straight away, I'm like, oh man, I want to add some variations to this. I want to make because this is 2.5 inch diameter. I want to make this in a 3 inch, and I want to make this in like a 2 inch as well. Just because those little variations just make a massive difference. Angry Orchard is the only thing I handle. Angry Orchard is good. If you're talking apple cider, yeah, I'm with you on that. I like that. Half the time you're having something from maybe I don't even know what that means. Devon Spinning Wheels. I don't know. Yeah, so again, if you're one of the guys that have done these pre-orders, thank you so much. You guys doing pre-orders for me really makes a difference. What that does for me is allows me to increase the product range. So when I get pre-order sales, clearly I don't have the product yet, and I haven't even been able to necessarily order enough quantities. So a pre-order allows me to order enough quantity to make it worthwhile, which means I can do a big shipment. So like here, you're looking at 200 handles in total here. There's 50 sets of handles right here. And yeah, the pre-order allows me to do that. So all of these are sold already, which means that I'm now working on the next order. And the profits just get rolled over into, all right, let's expand to get better handles, more products, more range, and all that sort of stuff. So it's a scratch my back, scratch yours back situation where you guys get it cheaper, but you have to wait because it's pre-order. But that helps me because I just don't have the cash up front to be able to do that. So I appreciate that. How much older are you than wifey? Ah, good question. All right, guys, I want to know. Have you guys seen a picture of my wife yet? You guys know what my wife looks like. You've seen her. It's hard. She's pretty elusive. It's hard to find photos of her. She's very private and respectful sort of person. But you guys have seen her, right? Um, you tell me. I want you, give me the first person to get it right. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna send you a handle because I haven't got any spares. But I want to know. Tell me her age. I'm 36. I'm 36. Tell me her age. Does anyone know her age? Hopefully, there's no people saying 29, 34. Okay, I'll stop when it's correct. 26, 31, 32. She looks 28 to 32, says Fry Rose. 31, 29. Okay, no one's right yet. 30, 30. No one's correct yet. 27, 38. No, 26, 13. 13. 25. 40. There we go. We got one. We got one. J Rod FPV is correct. She's 40 years old. She is 4.5 years older than me. And yet she looks, as you guys are seeing it, she looks like she's the average age that people guess when they meet her is like 28. And when we go into a bar, she gets asked for ID about 70% of the time. But yeah, she's 40 years old and easily the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. When it's just nuts how beautiful she is, to be honest. She's like just it's off the charts how beautiful she is. When she was in her wedding dress, wait till you see the professional photos. The photographer was saying to me, because the lighting was perfect, the day was awesome. We're out in this amazing golf course doing location shots, and the photographer, whilst she was getting ready, says to me, "Dude, you know these are going to be the best photos I have ever taken in my life. Like this is cover of wedding magazine material. Your wife looks like a goddess, and the lighting is so amazing." And I'm like, dude, I don't know. So people have been saying, right, have you been adding zeros onto the end of your YouTube earnings or what? But yeah, look, I'll admit, I'm the first person to admit that I am like way out of my depth when it comes to physical looks. But thankfully, I'm an awesome dancer, so that makes up for it. Yeah, good genes. Yeah, good genes. Her grandmother's alive at 99 and still crushing it. So, yeah, good genes for sure. Does she have kids? No, we have. She hasn't got kids. We'll probably end up with kids. That's the plan. So, we'll add another gorilla to the pack. You leveled up there too. Yeah. Who is it? Lachlan. Yeah, that's right. In Lachlan's speech, one of the things Lachlan's speech says, Ryan has consistently, over the last 7 years since I've known Ryan, Ryan has consistently batted way above his average in arm wrestling. And tonight, this is no different. Ryan is clearly batting way above his average in respect to this as well. So, yeah. How the heck did you find out what the heck 40 no kids insanely gorgeous? Yeah. Nothing safe wake of sorry, I can't read your username. Yeah, man. She's a gem. It's a godsend. I think we're both faithful people and it 100% feels like this was just designed by God. The way that we came together and came to know each other and the 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 complementary personalities that we have is just freaking off the charts. So it's awesome. But yeah, what else is going on? Yeah, Lachlan nailed me. Where did you find it though? At a coffee shop. I literally at a coffee shop. Met her at a coffee shop. So that's what you do. I guess you gotta be brave enough to talk to someone. So I did. Had a coffee with her and the rest is history. But yeah, what else is going on? Anyone got any questions? Otherwise I gotta get crack on with some work. You guys hit me up. Anything you want. Do you think about moving in the near future? Blaze Car, good question, man. In terms of where I'm moving, I'm not going to be in the Brisbane area, not until my kids are grown up. Um, obviously my kids, where Joanna and I are going to live is probably be about 20 minutes drive from my kids, which still has me in the Brisbane area. I think that once my kids are grown up and no longer need my direct support in a day-to-day sense, then you'll see a lot of traveling. I like I said, I'm really blessed that arm wrestling is my career, that this is my career, YouTube and pound for pound and whatnot is my career. So with that, and Joanne is like fully in on the company. She's helping me grow the company and work behind the scenes with logistics and orders and whatnot. So between the two of us, this is all we're doing is working on this company and building arm wrestling and the company around it and traveling. So if travel gets back to normal, you'll see me pop up everywhere. I will pop up in North America. I'll pop up in Eastern Europe. I will pop up. I will go to Russia. I will go to Ukraine. I'll go to Georgia. I'll go to Poland. I'll go to Southeast Asia. I'll go to South Africa. I'll go everywhere and I just travel and arm wrestle. I just want to arm wrestle everyone. I know that that is the fastest way for me to grow. My goals are not small goals in arm wrestling. My goal is to be one of the greatest of all times. And I love that Delusional Ryan Bowen series. The part 4 was really cool. I actually filmed a reaction to it. I haven't released it yet because obviously I've been busy the last couple of days. But I might do it this afternoon. I'll finally edit and release the reaction video to that because I actually really enjoyed I really enjoyed that one because it ended. If you haven't seen it, it ended with me saying, "I wonder how I would go against." They clipped a little part of it where it said, "I wonder how I would go against Peak John." What they clipped off was me describing my overall goal. My overall goal in arm wrestling is to reach a point in the arm wrestling world where people ask the question, "How would have Ryan gone against Peak John?" If anyone legitimately in the arm wrestling world ever asks that question legitimately to themselves or to their friends or whatever, I consider that my goal, my biggest arm wrestling goal, complete. If I don't get there, I'm gonna have a lot of fun trying. So for me, the process of that is gonna be traveling. So I'm gonna be, if international travel gets back to normal, that's what you can expect. Myself and Joanne will travel and we'll arm wrestle and we'll have fun. So in terms of Joanne's arm wrestling, I did see someone ask me before. Someone just said good night from Alabama. J Rod FPV, who was the man who guessed Joanne's age. Well done. You're off to bed. Good night. Um, yeah, in terms of someone asked before, is Joanne into the arm wrestling? No. As physically as an arm wrestler, no. Bradley and Joanne are perfectly balanced. They have genuine wars, and that gives you some perspective on how strong Bradley is. That he can have a genuine arm wrestle with an adult female, and it's a war. Um, but Joanne obviously doesn't know how to move well. She's slowly picking it up. She's getting the idea of pronation and wrist flexion, but Bradley just bangs her into a hook straight off, and she can't get out of Bradley's hand. And then she tries to go kind of straight sideways, and Bradley just contains. But Bradley starts the gas, and then Joanne gets control of center. And then when Joanne goes to pin, Bradley's defense is too good, and she's like, "I can't pin him." And they have legit wars. It's awesome. And that's on the right hand. On the left hand, which Bradley describes as his strong arm, Bradley just goes, "What?" Just top rolls, just bends her wrist back straight away and crushes her. So yeah, that kind of describes to you Joanne's level of arm wrestling. I am King asks, when will you defeat Lachlan Tank? That's a really good question. I am King. The story with Lachlan for me. One thing that I always believe that really shapes who you become as an arm wrestler is who you are chasing and who you are training with. I can track back through my history in the sport exactly the reasons why I became a hooker, the reasons why I became a posting top roller, the reasons why I became a low hand top roller, and it's always because of the person that I was training most with. Um, Jordan Davis, for example, when his top roll surpassed mine, it started me on this journey. It started me on going, all right, fingers, don't worry about wrist flexion, just worry about fingers, worry about supination, worry about elbow and shoulder commitment, and strengthen that. And Jordan made me that because I had to be that in order to combat Jordan. Jordan and I now know very clearly the lane that we fight in. There's one lane. We slip, and no one can stop. I can't hold on to him. He can't hold on to me. We slip. We get in the straps, and then we fight here. Me like this, him like that. And it's just who's stronger. It's really simple. Who's stronger with me and Jordan, with a couple of little variations. But Lachlan, right now is a season where Lachlan has fixed a problem. Lachlan, 3 to 6 months ago, used to be vulnerable. I could turn his pronation down at will. I could just always bang and get his pronation down. So the match would start with me here and Lachlan there, essentially. That was where the critical moments would come about. And when it was like that, I was winning 30 to 40% of matches. Lachlan has now fixed that problem. It's gone. It's actually become one of his aces. That back pressure, Giannis Hamlin style, finger containment, and just mega back pressure and pronation pop off the go. And that's become one of his aces. And because of that, I'm in the dark. I am king. I am king. I'm genuinely in the dark. I don't know where to even try against Lachlan. I can't put a dent when he and I are fresh. I can't put a dent anywhere. Um, Anywhere. When he got fatigued at the wedding the other night, this might be a clue. I'm actually just realizing this right now. When he started to get fatigued the other night, it was my low hand pronation that was his most that highlighted his most vulnerable thing at the time. It was his fingers. So I think the back pressure and pronation is really what I need to level up in order to chase the great man, Lachlan, once again. Bradley Hook, Captain Hook Bowen, WAL Champ 2034. I like it. Fry Rose, good stuff. We've got a good few questions here. Let me go back and have a look. Matt O, what time is the Larrett v Todd match on in Brizzy? And is the I don't know. I haven't looked into the details yet. Will I do a live stream chat to go with it so we can drink beers and talk shit? Yes, Matt O, you have nailed it on the head there. When Devin and Michael Todd go live, if you guys, I'm going to do an official breakdown of it, of course. So post match, I will give it my deepest analysis of a technical thing. So if you want to hear what I've got to say about the technical side of things, I will do that post match. But I will also watch it live. I'll pay for the pay-per-view. In respect to the pay-per-view, I won't stream the pay-per-view on my channel, but I will stream my commentary on it. So I'll jump on there live. I'll watch it on my computer, and so you guys can watch it on your pay-per-view as well. But if you want to hear me commentate it, then tune in at the same time. Get double screaming going on, and I will live commentate and give updates on what I see and what's going on in that match, because it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. And the Wild Horse is just asking me who do I think's gonna win, Devin or Todd. You know, that's one of the most tricky questions that are going around. I started on Todd. I went to Larrett. I've swung back to Todd. And that's kind of where I am now. I'm kind of there now. He's 270 pounds, jacked, lean, strong. His mindset, he thinks he could beat Levan right now. And just knowing that he feels like that, it's like, oh man, that's definitely a strong Michael. That's definitely the best Michael that at least he has felt in any preparation. His PRs are all at the best they've ever been. But then, of course, you can never be certain on a match against Devin Larrett with anyone. Even if it's a gross mismatch, Devin is the one guy that can find a way, i.e., a la what he did to Andrei Pushkar. He wasn't at all even a 10% favorite in that, and Devin crushed him. But Devin's one of those dudes that just finds a way. Probably the most adaptive arm wrestler. He just needs a stop anywhere, and he'll go to work on little increments, little tiny strokes, as Devin put it. Looking for that crack, as Devin says it. He will find a way, and he'll work, and he'll work, and he'll work. I think the match is going to be a war. I think the match is honestly going to come down to heart. Michael thinks he's going to flash pin Devin. I don't think he can. I don't see Devin. I don't think Devin has said he's going to crush Michael anywhere. But I don't think there's going to be a decisive victory for Devin in a flash sense at all. I think even if Devin takes control of center, Michael will stick for a hell of a long time before Devin has to maybe flop press, or can Devin force supination? Tough ask, maybe. But I think the truth of what we're going to see is a dead set freaking grinder to the death. And I think the winner is just going to be who's willing to tolerate the lactic acid for longer at a high level. Let's face it, when you're in an arm wrestling match, and it's stopped. There is a point where you're like, should I rest? Because you can rest and not be pinned straight away. But when you rest, you allow the opportunity for bravery on the other side to take over and take control and seize the opportunity and leverage. And normally you rest only when you assess your opponent's bravery in respect to their lactic acid tolerance, as they won't have enough bravery to get through this if I rest. They won't. They surely won't. But in this match, I think they will. And I think that's where the match is going to be. I think these guys are truly going to challenge each other on a mental toughness, tolerance of pain, lactic acid level. I think it's going to be brutal. I think you're going to see both men near collapsing with just exhaustion, neurological burnout. I think they're both going to die trying this. When I say that, I'm talking metaphorically, of course. They're going to die on the table. I don't think either of them will ever rest. I don't think either of them will ever back down. They're both mentally really tough on the table. So I think a bloodbath is what we're going to get. And I think that for me right now, it's going to be Michael. It's going to be Michael. Have you started eating pancakes because of Devon now? Have a daily craving for waffles. I do like pancakes in general. I've always been a pancake fan. My public display of eating pancakes has happened on a few occasions. I've demonstrated that I can cook a pancake without burning it, as opposed to Devon Larry. But I'm not doing it very often. Don't eat them very often. Yeah, that was a good question from Blaze Carr. Did you watch the video Uncle John did on RVJ? Strength Old School. I think, yes, definitely. I did watch it. I thought it was well done. I agree with everything he said. Fry Rose, does your wife or son watch Strength Sports on YouTube? Yeah. My wife, no. She does not watch Strength Sports. My son, he does. He loves watching arm wrestling. He loves watching PR. He loves watching boxing. He loves watching anything. Mixed martial arts, all of it. He's a real boy. Real boy. What else we got? And Schoolboy. Larry's looking strong, I gotta admit. Ray is pretty confident that Larry's gonna win. Says a lot. Ray's got a good feel for arm wrestling. Ray's never gripped Schoolboy, but Ray understands. Truly, he understands arm wrestling. He's well and truly immersed in it. So I take a lot of weight from Ray, but then there is, of course, the side of Ray that is the coach, the motivator, the guy who hopes that his dude is going to get the job done, and he's imparting all of that self belief and onto Larry. So of course he's going to say that, but I think that Schoolboy will win still. And I think from the same reason that I put out when I actually addressed this specific topic, I think Schoolboy will win simply because of his experience in a positional sense towards the later rounds. The fact that he knows how to defensively posture his body more efficiently than Larry does will be the critical difference. I think if the arm wrestle was just who can win center, I'd have money on Larry. I would if the match was just let's see if it goes this way or this way, off the go. I think Larry wins. I think Larry can just grip low and just go rah, and get it to his side of the table. But I don't think Larry knows the efficiencies. He doesn't have the experience or knowledge to really efficiently handle what happens if there is a pause or a stop or a barrier that he just can't break through. I think if Larry hits a barrier, if Larry forces it slightly in, just halfway into a hook, drops and gets 2 inches from the pin, I think Larry's lost there. Larry's going to stop and go. All he's going to do is he's going to keep trying. I think he's just going to keep trying, and he's going to hold and keep trying and hope that his lactic acid tolerance in that exact position is enough. Where Schoolboy, if he hits that wall, he will know exactly how to move safely and wait patiently and just let Larry bleed, and then that only needs to happen once and it's done. If Larry makes that error on one occasion, the rest of the match is a write-off, in my opinion, because he doesn't have the versatility to really adapt and change. So I expect Schoolboy to win. I do think Larry's stronger though. From what I'm seeing, Larry looks mega, which is exciting, and all that extra efficiency will come. Um, it'll come for in Schoolboy, and yeah. Oh, I'm just realizing I missed a bunch of comments. Damn this YouTube thing! I hate it how it doesn't do it. All right. Danaru says Bradley is a savage in the best way possible. Yeah, you should have seen him at the wedding, man. He was killing it on the dance floor. Dude was crushing it. How is the Vanilla Gorilla's forehand? I have got him on the tennis court a few times. Yeah, he's good. He's coordinated. He's just like his dad. He was good at tennis, good at arm wrestling, good at whatever he kind of touches. What's my assessment of Todd v. Zaloyev from Devon's Spinning Wheels? Good question, man. That's the other big match that's just on the horizon. It's a massive match. Obviously, I saw that Zaloyev had mentioned that he was recovering from kidney stones, so that's kind of an issue, and he's not in his best shape. But he took the match because it was good money and all that sort of stuff. So that's interesting that Zaloyev is kind of softening the background, saying that there's issues and he's not in peak form. But then I spoke to Todd Hutchins, and I asked him. I said, how you feeling going into the match? And he said, I think Zaloyev has a great shot. So they're both kind of pandering to I want to be the underdog. My honest opinion of it is I think this Zaloyev is the favorite, and I say that because he's of an age where he's at his peak. He's just really looked dominant in his recent WAF outings. Um, I think he's the last dude to really crush Sasho. He's got a top roll now, and he's fast. Those last two things, top roll and fast, is a problem for Todd. Um, if he was only a top roll, it's not a problem for Todd. But Zaloyev, we know, is classically a hooker. So Zaloyev will just stay up and out for as long as he can, hit fast, and whenever there is a stop, which let's assume there will be a stop, he'll then transition to a hook. And if Zaloyev hits to a top roll effectively and fast, and then gets contained and transitions into a hook, Zaloyev will have the rotation advantage. And if Zaloyev has the rotation advantage, I think he will win the grind. Where I think Todd Hutchins wins is if Zaloyev decides to hook from the outset, which is what happened with them historically. When Todd won last time, it was a hook war. So I think that if Zaloyev goes in and tests his hook and leverage is even, then I have Mr. Hutchins for the victory. All right, what else we got? Larry's going to get an adrenaline jump due to his first super match. Take that into account. Yeah, he will. Rob says, congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Bowen. Have a great honeymoon. Thank you, Rob. Blaze car, advice for flying to avoid having to wear a mask the whole time. Wear a ball cap forward and throw your hoodie over your face. You'll enjoy. Yeah, okay. I appreciate that. Blue, what ELO rating do you have constantly? Do you constantly beat the AI at? I can handle 1400. Yeah, I'm about the same, about 1400 if I play computer. But people are much harder. I'm like 1000 if I'm against people. We're 1400 if I'm against a computer. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know. Casey Hoagland, Lachlan ever going to pull Hutchings? Yeah, look, the question of Lachlan pulling Hutchings and the question of Lachlan pulling anyone is a question that we're just our hands are tied. Our hands have been tied since damn COVID. Our government's policy down here just prevents us from going overseas to anywhere except New Zealand now. We can't really go overseas. And it's because we can't get back with certainty. Getting back is a problem if we go overseas. We can get out if we get a government approval to leave for business purposes, which I could obtain through my business. We could get Lachlan overseas. We could. I could justify it and getting the government approval to get out. But the thing is, when we come back, we must do the 2 weeks quarantine in a hotel, which is expensive. And flights getting back are limited, and they so easily get just cut off. And when I speak to flight travel agents in Australia, they tell me that roughly 30% of flights that are scheduled to come back get cancelled. And then if you're one of those flights that get cancelled, you're not getting a rebooking until 1 to 2 to 3 weeks later. And you just can't have your trip overseas, a 3-week delay, and then a 2-week quarantine. It's just, and that's just expensive. You miss out on work. You have to pay for your hotel. It's just too unpredictable for us to do. So we're hands are tied. But all that said, yes, I'm certain Lachlan will face Todd Hutchins at some point. Lachlan is shortlisted for the WAL, which is still very much alive and in existence. We're given assurances by Steve, and Neil will publicly give you assurances the WAL is not gone. WAL is just being patient. They're just waiting. They're not a small production company. They're a big production company, and they will only do things on a grand scale. But they have all their sponsors still lined up. They are there. The sponsors are patient too. They're like, yep, no worries. When it's time, we launch. And it's not going to really be time to launch until world travel has feasibly come back to something semi-normal. And at that time, Lachlan has already been earmarked for the WL. He's received the call. He's been given the nod. We know that he will face someone, and he won't face Todd Hutchins straight up because that's just too far up the pecking order in terms of the WL. But you could imagine Lachlan to face maybe Tom Nelson, who he would, I think, crush as a potential opener. Then they would throw Lachlan against maybe an Aiello as a let's see how you go. You lost to Mike a few years ago. Let's see how you go with him now. And then if he got past Aiello, yes, Todd Hutchins would be right there waiting for him. And that's kind of how I expect it to go. If we ever get a WAL season, I expect Lachlan to face either Tom Nelson or Chris Chandler, someone like that, as an opener. Then second round, they throw in Aiello. And then if he beats Aiello, they throw him Todd Hutchins. And then if he beats Todd Hutchins, then we're into the top tier of the WL. You guys know the rest. So that's kind of how I see it going. Justin Kluig says, what Schoolboy hasn't done is flown in most of the best arm wrestlers in the world to learn from. Yeah. But Schoolboy's already an elite proficient arm wrestler. So Dana Roo says, just order the handled bundle from Pound for Pound. Dana Roo, thank you. You are the man. Thank you so much. Your order, my brother, won't be shipped tomorrow, however. Every single one of these handles is already sold. Just gotta let you know. Yours will be, when I get back from the honeymoon, yours will be shipped. So, because I'll have all of them then. Lachlan's competition is shrinking. Yes, it is. In Australia, here's how I measure Lachlan out there. And this might end up in the Delusional Ryan Bowen series, I don't know. But here's my honest best, there's no fluffing here, there's nothing. This is just my best guess. I know who I've beaten, right? I have beaten in various times and conditions. I've beaten Chance Shaw. I've beaten Dallas Langston. I've beaten Daniel Mosier. I've beaten Evan Burgoyne. I've beaten Alan Guerra. Let's just go off those 5 people. I know I have beaten them, right? That's just history. I've beaten them. Lachlan toys with me. He utterly toys with me, right? Literally, I can't do a freaking thing on any vector to Lachlan. Nothing. I can't do anything. I promise you, you've seen it enough times. I can do nothing against Lachlan. Doesn't matter if I start on the D of don't move. Lachlan would go, oh, that's where you're going. Oh, that's where you're going. And he's just too strong. Now, I asked the question then, what level of guy in North America could do that, or have we seen anyone in North America do that to the 5 guys that I've beaten? Can you list for me who in North America could do what Lachlan does to me to Alan Guerra, Dan Mosier, who did I say before? Chance Shaw, Evan Burgoyne, and Dallas Langston. Is there anyone in North America that can simply, utterly stonewall those 5 guys? Because if they can't, they're not as good as Lachlan in terms of strength. Because I beat all 5 of those, and I can't budge anywhere Lachlan. Paul Talbot would not be able to beat Lachlan, not even close. Paul Talbot is my level. Paul Talbot is my level. Paul and I are in the same mixture of conversation. We could win and lose, trade places, no worries with Paul Talbot. Paul Talbot would get utterly crushed by Lachlan. Give you my absolute word. Yeah. So does that logic seem sound, or does that seem like delusion? Again, to very succinctly put it, Lachlan can stonewall me to absolute death. I can't move him anywhere. I have beaten 5 solid guys recently in North America. Who in North America can do to these 5 what Lachlan can do to me? I just asked, give me the names. And I only think the people that can do that are top shelf. And this is why I think Lachlan beats Todd. I don't think Todd can do to these five people what Lachlan can do to me. I don't. I think Lachlan's stronger than Todd. I do. Can Dave Chafee do it? Yeah. I think Dave Chafee can do to these five what I do. I think Corey West could do to these five what Lachlan does to me. I think Matt Mask, I see that name come up. I'm not sure. Maybe. Some of them, he could do it maybe to some, but not to the same degree in venom, which I do it, which Lachlan does it to me. Lachlan is strong. He's really strong, and that's how I personally use the logic. So we're just going to wait and see. I think I got a delivery about to turn up. We got to wait and see. Lachlan will get his time. He'll get his chance. And I actually hope there's 5 more Delusional Ryan Bale videos before that one happens. Because it's just going to look better when the predictions come true. When Lachlan finally gets overseas. And let's say Lachlan does bang at the Corey West level. And personally, I think that's the level. I think him and Corey are very, very similar in their journeys. I think they really are. The Arm Wrestling Opinion says that Todd Hutchins went through Corey West. Yes, he did. And that's a stylistic thing as well. Corey needs the experience. Corey's not used to taking on Todd at all. Jordan Sill. Someone just mentioned Jordan Sill. Jordan Sill is another potential opener for Lachlan. That'd be a good match. To me, that's a good match as an opener. Lachlan would get a lot of respect if he faced and beat Jordan Sill. And to be honest, I think he would. I think Jordan's not on the Corey West level. I think Jordan's somewhere between my level and Corey West is Jordan Sill. He's somewhere in here. Lachlan, I believe, is up at the Corey West and potentially even above Corey West level. So I think that Lachlan v Jordan Sill is a great opener for him in the WAL in the super heavyweight division. Just bang, and then hell, if Rob Vigent's in the super heavyweights, put Lachlan against Rob as an opener. Interesting. Lachlan against Grippler, yeah, another potential opener. Grippler and Aiello are kind of similar. I think that Lachlan would be fine against Grippler. Wouldn't be a problem. Anyway, that's my logic. All right, guys, we've been talking for like 57 minutes. I'm gonna get running because I gotta do some work. I'm going to New Zealand tomorrow. I haven't packed my bags. Got to get all these orders. Like I said, I gotta get all these handles shipped today. So I can't talk for much longer. I gotta knock my round. So guys, thank you so much for stopping in, saying g'day. There will be limited content from me over the next 3 weeks, as you guys know, and I'm going on honeymoon. So, but I will definitely stop in. I will be live when the Monster Michael Todd Devin Larratt match happens, and I'll give you my commentary on it. So, guys, if you want to hear my commentary and my technical breakdown as it happens, that's where it'll be. Thank you for chatting in. Everyone's saying take care. I appreciate that. Guys, all the best. See you soon, and love you guys all. See ya.